Hello, you beautiful souls. Welcome back to the Spiritual Laboratory. Recently, I posted a video on TikTok about Moldavite. It turns out everyone on TikTok was very interested in Moldavite. The video ended up going for over 2 million likes. As well, it got over 24,000 comments, mostly questions. On top of that, I also got hundreds and hundreds of messages of people asking questions about Moldavite. I tried to respond to as many of them as possible, but now I figured I would just make a video, and this video is going to be answering most of the questions that I saw consistently through my messages and in the comments. Hopefully I answer all the big questions in this, and if I don't answer your question, go ahead and comment it down below on this video and I'll be sure to answer it. We're just going to jump straight into it. This one really isn't a question, but Witch commented saying Moldavite isn't even a crystal. I figured this would be a good starting point because then I can actually explain what Moldavite is. So in case you were wondering, this is Moldavite. And yes, technically Moldavite is not a crystal. So for those of you who don't know exactly where Moldavite came from, it was actually a meteor crashing into the earth. So when the meteor crashed, it obviously exploded and fused with the atmosphere of Earth. From the way they explained it, a green liquid splashed up and instantly became crystallized, forming what we know as Moldavite. Most crystals are naturally born here on Earth. This one is not. It's from outer space. This is literally an extraterrestrial rock. When something like this comes from a meteor, it's actually classified as what we call a tektite. Tektites are actually closer to glass than they are crystal. There's actually lots of ancient texts that talk about Moldavite and how it was a gift from the gods. It is said that this stone was given to us to increase the consciousness of the entire planet. So yes, technically, it is not a crystal. It's a tektite. It is from outer space. Moving on. Sophia said, how do you know if you're ready for Moldavite? This question specifically is probably the most common question I got. It also happens to be the hardest question to answer. There's no proper way of saying like you are ready for Moldavite. It kind of is just a feeling. Everyone starts off not knowing what Moldavite is. And somewhere along your journey, you're going to learn about Moldavite. You're going to continuously see Moldavite. The way I look at it is, have you ever been like walking somewhere and you see something that's probably always been there, but you never really noticed it, and then you're like, wow, I never noticed that that was there. That's kind of how I feel like it is with Moldavite. It's not really anything you pay attention to until you begin to pay attention to it. Once it starts becoming important to you, you're going to notice how much it pops up in your life. Eventually, you're probably going to start seeing Moldavite everywhere, whether it be on your For You page or on YouTube, on TV, or even just hearing like your friends talk about it. But with a new heightened sense of consciousness, it's going to be more interesting to you than it's ever been. I'm sure that there's people who have seen Moldavite before and have scrolled past my video. But then there's the people who have noticed that they keep seeing it and they're intrigued. They want to know why they keep seeing it. When this begins, that means your conscious is shifting. It's starting to pay attention to different things. You're going to consistently get more curious about it until you find yourself researching all these different things about Moldavite. And the next thing you know, you're going to start looking up where you can buy Moldavite. Your conscious is now noticing the spiritual things. Your consciousness is now paying attention to the other side of the world. Increased consciousness means you're going to start bringing new things into your life. I hope that makes sense. So we're moving on now. Gabby asked, how can I get Moldavite and know it's the real thing? Going back to when the meteor crashed. It crashed in the Czech Republic, in a plateau in the Czech Republic. But it sat there for millions and millions of years before humans ever discovered it was there. Well, let me take that back. Present day humans, before present day humans ever discovered it was there. The old Egyptians and the pharaohs, they knew about it. There's plenty of Moldavite actually buried in the tombs with these Egyptian pharaohs. It wasn't until, I believe, the 1940s that this civilization found out about Moldavite. Over the last about 50 years, people have been finding scriptures and doing research on the powers of Moldavite. After the CIA dropped all the documents recently, you can even go on there and see that they have actually been studying Moldavite for years and years. Doing more studies opened people's eyes up to what Moldavite really is and like the mysteries of it. Once people started seeing this, they realized that there's value in it, especially because of the rarity of the stone. Think about it. It came from a meteor one time ever. This stone is far more rare than diamonds can ever be. When people began to realize this, they realized that there's a possible money market in it. Unfortunately. So people from the East cultures started actually doing things like melting down Heineken bottles to counterfeit Moldavite because they realized it was a cash cow. So how can you tell you're getting real Moldavite? Through pictures online, it's impossible. Someone can upload a picture of anything and say that it's Moldavite, and then when you get it, it doesn't look anything like the picture. By a picture, you can say that that looks real, but when it comes, it's not. There's a couple trusted sellers that I sell, and I'm going to put the links to those in the description down below. One of them is the Moldavite family. The other one is Moldavite jewelry. Now, again, I'm not saying that these are the only legit sellers because there's probably tons. My recommendation for you is to try to find a seller from the Czech Republic. If the seller somewhere in there says like from the Czech Republic, then you know they are from the site where it actually crashed. Obviously, look at reviews too. If they have a 5-star review with thousands of sales, chances are they're legit. We're going to go ahead and move on. This one's not really a question, but Lizzo said, "I'm scared I'll lose someone I love." Now, this is the number one thing that scares people away from Moldavite. Every time you research Moldavite and every time you look up people's experiences with Moldavite, there's somewhere along the lines where they say that they lost everything and their whole life came crashing down. So I'm going to explain this in a little bit more detail and hopefully you won't be so scared. Moldavite is a very conscious increasing stone. It increases vibration and it puts you in a spiritual state of mind. Simply put, it basically stimulates the top 4 chakras, which are all of your spiritual chakras. It's going to put you into spiritual states of mind. With that being said, the reason people lose people is because they start looking at things from a bigger picture. There's a lot of people that go on with their life knowing that they want to change something about their life, but continue to do the same things every single day. Eventually, just through meditation and increasing your consciousness, or through practicing with Moldavite, which is the whole thing of how Moldavite works, you'll begin to look at things from basically an outside view. Okay, if you're trying to get healthier spiritually, but you have a habit of hanging out with a group of friends that do not benefit the spiritual route at all, and you know that and you feel uncomfortable, but you like hanging out with your friends because they're your friends, you're going to end up looking at the situation completely different. Now you're going to start looking at the situation of like, what am I doing? I'm surrounded by these people that are not making me a better person at all. They're slowing down, and you're going to begin to look at that. That energy is going to come off of you of, I'm getting slowed down. I'm not achieving my best version of myself. You're going to start feeling those energies. They're going to notice those energies. The vibes of you and the people that are not for your best destiny are just not going to bond anymore. They're going to feel it. You're going to feel it. You guys just aren't going to clash, just blend anymore. It's just kind of how it works. It's not like they're just going to up and leave you hung and dry. It's the fact that you're going to feel totally different about the relationship, or they're going to feel different about the relationship because they can feel that your vibe changed. Okay? So if someone you really love is making you better and is making you the best version of yourself, you have nothing to worry about. They are there for your spiritual path. They are there to help you become the best version of yourself, to achieve your goals, to clear your mind, become healthier physically and mentally. You're going to just start scratching out things of your life that don't, whether, like I said, it be through Moldavite or be through meditation, but it's always for your benefit. I hope that makes sense. Moving on. Olivia said, "I'm scared to try this. I think we should do more research first." And the reason I brought this one up, this one really wasn't one that I think I needed to cover, but I just wanted to emphasize the importance of doing your own research, okay? You do not understand the importance of doing your own research. I'm trying so hard to help as many people out with the knowledge that I've gained. But all of this knowledge that I've gained is just me doing research, whether it be on myself or in books, other people's experiences, mostly my experiences, but just doing research in general. When it comes to anything down the spiritual path, I recommend doing research. I recommend looking it up. I recommend looking up other people's experiences and things like that. I think that feeling lost down the spiritual journey is probably the most common thing you're going to feel. You're probably going to feel lost 75% of the time. Like I was just saying, your conscious expands, okay? So you no longer think the way you did last week. Last week, you could have had your whole life set up the way that you think that you want it. And then a week later, everything's gone. And now, guess what? You're going to feel lost. And you might not know why, or you might hate it because nobody wants to feel lost. But doing research and seeing people's experience, mystics, yogis, talking to shamans, it keeps you with the mindset of why things are happening rather than just things are happening. It's good to know why things are happening. And the more you do research and the more you can link your own life lessons to what's going on and how things work, you will start to understand why things happen. And then once you understand why things happen, it makes it a little less hard to deal with those things. Always, always, always do your own research. Keep doing due diligence. Don't stop studying. That is the main thing. I can't tell you how many messages I've got, people messaging me, asking me for guidance because they feel lost. And I totally understand that. It is totally normal. But to those people who have no idea what's going on in their life and they feel lost and they're not a spiritual person, but they feel so lost right now and they want guidance, here's what's happening. It's exactly like I talked about in the beginning. You are going through a conscious shift. We all go through conscious shifts, okay? A conscious shift basically means your entire neurological system of your brain is rewiring to think a completely different way, a more educated and elevated way. You might have been all normal and now today you're feeling lost. But guess what? You sent me that message or just you watching this video. That means you are interested. You are trying to gain more knowledge. You are going out of your way to send a message to try to gain more knowledge on the spiritual path. You're proving that spirituality has now shifted and become important to you. You want to know more about it. That right there is already the beginning stages. So if you're feeling lost and you want to figure out how to start your spiritual journey, that's it. Admitting that you don't know enough and admitting maybe that you don't know anything, stripping away the thought that you know everything and introducing the thought of I know nothing and I'm going to keep asking questions now is the entire route of the spiritual path. Forgetting what you think you know and stripping away the limited beliefs, the programs that this society and this world has put into your brain. You begin to remove those. You begin to remove the idea that you need to work 40 hours a week. You begin to remove the idea that this can't be done because of this. You begin to remove all those limited beliefs and you just start asking questions and wanting to learn more because you now don't believe the things that you used to believe. You're limitless at that point. Limitless. You will grow as fast as you can open your mind. Moving on to the next question. Is Moldavite good to use with Libyan desert glass? I love this question because this is the exact combo I started off with. This is Libyan desert glass, another tektite. This one was from a meteor that crashed down in the Libyan desert, hence Libyan desert glass. When studying properties of this, it's very grounding crystal. Moldavite is a very ungrounding crystal. Hence, this one targets spiritual chakras and this one targets physical. So this one will help you grow spiritually. This one will help you grow physically. There probably isn't, to my knowledge, a better combo that you can go with other than Moldavite and Libyan desert glass. They are exact opposites of each other, and they are going to improve you in both fields of your life. Not to mention, if you guys understand chakras, you know that the lower chakras are for your energy in the physical world, whereas your upper chakras are for your energy in the spiritual world. Doing things in the physical world takes physical energy, obviously. Willpower, okay? So on your base chakras holds the energy for your willpower. So some people have much more willpower than other people. They don't ever have negative thoughts on their own willpower. They don't ever bring negativity onto their own willpower, so they're just going to keep expanding it. Libyan desert glass helps build willpower. I can't explain how important that is when you're going down the spiritual path. These were all the top questions. Again, I tried to answer all the most popular questions as I could in the comments or in the messages that I've gotten. If there's a question that I didn't answer in this video and you want to know the answer, please feel free to let me know down below, and I promise I will answer it. I am trying to get to every question because I think helping people with the knowledge of this stuff is very important. Again, we're going to keep doing videos on beginning the spiritual journey and where to begin, and opening signs of a spiritual awakening. These are the future videos to come for the people just starting on their spiritual path. If you want to learn more about this journey, subscribe, put on your spiritual lab coat. Other than that, thanks for watching The Spiritual Laboratory, where science meets spirituality. It's your host, Danny. We'll see you on the next one.